welcome to SLCC Talk, or SLICC Talk as we like to call it. On today's episode, we're going to talk about police brutality, and you know, this time around, we promise we're going to end on something maybe a little bit more sweeter than the topic of police brutality. Of course, we've established a panel that is just as passionate about this topic as I am about candy corn. So, with that being said, I'd like to talk with Ashley first. Ashley, go ahead and talk to us a little bit about police brutality.
So, it's been a recent controversial topic lately in our community, nationwide, obviously. I'm sure you guys have heard many things. I just want to personally say I have nothing against cops, nothing at all. I have something against cops that are...
Gun happy?
Gun happy, yeah, exactly. So it's been a recent huge deal lately. There was an incident in West Valley with one of my close friends where a cop actually shot a dog, and that's really what fired my passion about it. But all over the country, like, we were just barely discussing how... In what state was it where the woman said that to a cop?
Oh, this was in Florida.
It was in Florida. It was in Florida where a woman got pulled over and
she was driving
51 in a school zone,
which is 20 miles an hour.
Which is 20 miles per hour. And she got pulled over, and at first when the cop went up to her, she was like really respectful and everything. He got her license and everything, went back to his car, checked her information, and when he went back up, her entire attitude had just changed. And she eventually said to him, "No wonder why you guys get shot."
And the cop was a-holes.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
right?
And all he was doing was trying, it's like,
you're going 51 in a 20 mile per hour zone. This is a school zone. I cannot pass up on giving you a ticket because you were going so fast.
And it's not even like she was going like maybe a couple miles over.
Right?
30 miles over the speed limit. That's
criminal speeding, technically.
But, yeah.
But,
This reminds me of the chief of police getting fired and some of the reasons why he had decided to be, well, given the option to resign. So he resigned, but I think that's just, you know...
There's just a lot of pressure on police forces around the country right
now. Well, the woman that was going to be arrested, this is one of the reasons, was for, you know, because he's going to get a pension, of course. What's his name?
Finley.
Finley?
Finley.
Are you sure?
The gentleman that was that was accused of sexual misconduct.
No.
Oh, pardon me.
Chris Burbank.
Chris Burbank is the chief of police? Is that
Chris Burbank was the chief of police, but there was another officer by the name of Finley who was accused by some female officers of sexual misconduct.
Oh, I think it's a different story then, because this cop, he pulls over this woman for drugs, and I guess cops have been following her for a really long time, and she was about to back up and run into the cop, is what the police report said, but the cameras are saying differently. Yeah. So the cop ended up shooting her through the window.
Oh, this is the chick down in Texas?
No, it was in Utah.
Oh.
That was in Utah?
Yeah, it was in Salt Lake City.
When was this?
I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah,
was this West Valley?
Yeah, it has to do with one of the reasons why the chief of police was fired as well.
In West Valley.
Oh,
So this was a couple of years ago.
No, it was this year. Yeah.
I don't know the story then.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing that. But I know there's a lot of pressure on different polices, and, you know, all these different reports of, you know, police brutality and police changing up, like, the police reports and how they're... I remember reading a case, there was a gentleman, this happened just last year, where he was got sent to jail, and he was going on trial for aggravated assault and all this other things that the police said he did, and they wound up finding the dash cam that the cop erased and vindicated him. He didn't resist at all, and, you know, they wanted to beat him, and they did a settlement later on. But this is kind of putting the police force at a, like, under...
Intense scrutiny.
So I could see how there's been, you know, especially here in Salt Lake, with the chief of police having to resign, there's been this added pressure on police officers to, like, be perfect, and, you know, any little thing can kind of mess them up.
Well, it's an insane job. It's a job that I don't think, personally, nobody should have for a long amount of time. Every single day, you might not come back home.
Exactly.
Every single day.
And your
no matter
family
if you're
knows
just
that.
going to a domestic disturbance, if you're going to a trespassing call, something, you just
You
never
could be going
know.
to fill up your car with gas in Texas, and someone will come up behind and shoot you.
Exactly.
Like,
So
that's insane.
And I think the big thing is, like, at the end of the day, like, you know, these are human beings. The people that are being pulled over, that are being arrested, are human beings. The people wearing these uniforms are human beings as well. Yeah. You know, not to plug or promote anything else, but BuzzFeed actually did a segment where they had just regular adult men put on a police uniform, and then they taped their reactions when they looked at themselves, and they were scared. They were intimidated of themselves in that uniform because that uniform represents something from their past in their lives. For the longest time, you grew up, and either the police were there to help you or the police are your enemy growing up. It's one way or the other. It's never both. That's how it is, and it's all this tension, all this buildup where it's stress in their jobs and everything like that, and then it's that question of, am I being pulled over because I actually did something wrong, or am I being pulled over because I'm being stereotyped right now? You know, it's all built up, and now it's come to this situation where we have to have dash cams, we have to have police body cameras.
We have to know our rights.
We have to
Doesn't
know
this remind you of 1984 just a little bit, though?
What do you mean, 1984?
Cameras everywhere.
George Orwell.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, there's a great responsibility that police officers have. And, you know, majority of them are working hard. They want to help. And, you know, there's these few
That give them a
that
bad
give them
name.
a bad name. But at the same time, police officers need to be held accountable for what they
For the power they hold.
And, you know, I do agree that we should have these body cameras, that they shouldn't have access to the tapes, because there's been numerous cases where the police officers themselves have erased dash cam or done that to kind of cover themselves up.
So actually, I rode along with the police officers in Bluffdale, and if you're talking in her camera or in her car, she had a recorder automatically turn on. It downloads. She has no. So I don't know if it's state by state, but here in Utah, or at least in Bluffdale, Saratoga Springs, the police. All they can do is download it. They have absolutely no access to delete anything, to make any changes or anything. So it just depends on where it is.
I don't think there's a standardized way that each department does these things.
Yeah.
Not every department is required to like have
I completely agree
cameras or
with you,
anything
though.
like
I
that.
think there should be a separate party or different video feed for that party too.
I don't think they should have access to their own film at all. And
Have you
this has
heard-
been the case.
Sorry, I
for a
don't
lot.
mean to interrupt.
Go for it.
Have you heard about the cops deleting the evidence from the victims' phones? Have you heard about those
definitely.
cases?
And I feel like now in this day and age, everyone first, reaction to something going on, they pull out their phone, start recording. And this is what we kind of been taught to do. And we've caught so many like violations of people's constitutional rights.
Yes.
Like going on, there's Eric Gardner, there's a lot.
So much.
There's so many, and
Well, some could argue the ethical standpoints of a citizen themselves. Why do I even have to be pulled over to be checked for anything?
Well,
unless I'm breaking the law.
Well, there's so many reasons why. Like,
Because your radar.
not pulling over or
because
not
you think I
signaling the
look
right way can
super
be breaking the law.
My car has a dent in it.
Well, I don't think they'll pull you over for a
boyfriend
dent.
got pulled
but
over because he did make an illegal lane change, and he does have a pretty rough past. He went to rehab for a little while, and he's actually really in a way proud of overcoming that. And so when people bring up stuff like that, he gets really offensive, and he got pulled over for an illegal lane change, and a woman in front of him also got pulled over. And the cop released the woman in front of him in the van, but she chose to stay and started recording. And the cop asked my boyfriend to get out of the car so he could search the car because his car looks like crap. He installs stereos, so everything's all over the car. And it does look like crap, but he thought he was hiding drugs in his car.
Well, and here's the thing of that circumstance: you have the right to say no.
Exactly.
Especially one case that comes
You
to
have
mind.
to vocally say that, though. If you...
Well, they have to ask you.
Yeah, I know,
can we
but
search your car?
if you
And
don't
you
say
no.
anything, they will do that. That's their
I just
priority.
tell them,
What if
get a
they have
warrant.
reasonable cause?
Reasonable cause,
They'd
that's
have
a
to
different
see
story.
something,
They'd have to see
directly.
something. But one thing that comes to mind is the Sandra Bland case. All right, this was a case that we recorded. There was no legal precedence for the police officer to ask her to get out of her car and to force her out of the car for not putting out her cigarette. All right, which she has perfect the right to do. And I don't know what happened in jail, but I know she shouldn't have been there. She shouldn't have been in jail for 3 days.
Are you talking about the woman who...
This was in Texas?
This was in Texas. Sandra Bland. She got pulled over. The police officer said
belligerent or something like that?
Yeah, it said that she assaulted him, which from the camera angles you can't see any of that. He illegally pulled her out of the car. All right, she got pulled over for a signaling violation. All right, she wound up going to jail for 3 days, and then they found her body in her cell. And there's some speculation if it was foul play or if she did commit suicide. But besides, it's very tragic. But she shouldn't have been in jail in the first place. And these are the instances where police officers need to be held accountable. And we need to have these recordings and have these body cameras. I know the majority of the police, they do their job, and I have so much respect for them. I have many police officers in my family. But at the same time, they need to be held to a higher standard if they're holding us accountable.
And if that's
for the
mandatory
standards.
for every single police station, then there's absolutely no excuse to why there would not be a video camera.
And we're gonna cut it off there because one of the things that we said that we would discuss is a little bit of a sweeter topic. So we said we talk about a sweeter topic. We're gonna talk about Salt Lake Comic-Con, which is coming up.
Oh yeah.
2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So Ro, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Sweet. I have a little something to do with Salt Lake Comic-Con. I've been super fortunate to kind of be a part of the Comic-Con family since its inception. But one of the biggest things I especially want to tell some of our audience members and you guys, there's a 15% student discount to anybody coming to Salt Lake Comic-Con. That's September 24th through the 26th at the Salt Palace Convention Center. There's also military discount. There's also first responder discount. There's a whole bunch of different things. If you can look up on our website, you can go ahead and see a full list of it. Exactly. Just make sure that you guys provide proof of certain things. But we have Chris Evans, Captain America coming out.
There's a ton of Captain America.
Awesome.
Haley
Chris Evans is
Atwell,
so cute.
Sebastian Stan.
And who's the other one that's coming?
There's another female actress, yes.
Oh my gosh.
There's just so many that we have such a great lineup because Salt Lake just there's a big geek culture in Salt Lake, and I say that with love and compassion.
Are you going to dress up?
I unfortunately I can't just because I'm helping with the show, helping with Comic-Con going on.
I'm not even going to put a cape on.
I would love to, trust me. It's just, and they explain it the best way possible. It's just like, what if there's somebody with a lost kid and they're trying to talk to you and they're a little bit teary and you're there in like cosplay.
Yeah.
But would you guys be excited to go?
I'll be there
I'm
myself.
going.
I'm probably
I'll be there dressed up.
Yes, nice.
Well, from all of us here at SLCC Talk, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up today. SLICC Talk as it will. Thank you so much to SLCC Food Services for providing us with the pizza. Thanks to my panel, of course, here today to talk about police brutality and, of course, Salt Lake Comic-Con, which is going to be super awesome. Hopefully, we'll see you there. And, of course, next time, save you a slice.